Welcome to the last video of my painting of Dwight. I'm going to continue to answer a few more questions while you watch me finish up the painting. And the first question is from Toby K, who asks, is it best to just draw anything, or are there particular things we should focus on getting right? Um, well, I think overall it can't hurt to draw everything that you see. You should try to draw everything. As an artist, I think you should be able to draw anything and paint anything. If you're in a specific industry like character design, for example, you want to start to look into artists that are the best in this field and study those artists. Artists like Nico, who designed characters in films such as Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon, is an amazing artist, by the way. One of my favorite artists, actually. But when I was a kid, I was just excited about drawing anything. I believed that I could draw anything, and I did. It was a challenge, I think, that I made for myself. I would collect, just random items from inside my house or garage and draw them, or just would walk around outside and draw anything that I saw, especially if it seemed like it would be hard to draw. You know, the harder it was, the more accomplished I would feel after drawing it. If you're going to be, a caricature or portrait artist, then you obviously need to study and practice how to draw and paint people. Decide what kind of artist you want to be, and what do you want to specialize in. And from there you'll have plenty of things to work on that are in your particular field. But you should never stop learning or striving to grow as an artist. Remember, always remain teachable. I think it's important for artists to work outside their comfort zone and on their own time. Experiment with different mediums. So I got another question here from Henry Casanova, who says, breaking into the business is tough. Do you have any advice for the people struggling to make a breakthrough? Also, one always has experiences with clients who like cheap work, some even that don't pay. Have you had these kind of situations, and what would you do in these cases? Well, it's a tough time. It's a terrible economy. There's not as many illustration jobs available right now as there were just 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, it's very competitive, and you need to really be on top of your game. Your work should look original. It should have quality and strength. If you're doing caricature, study more than just caricature artists. There's so many amazing artists and illustrators out there to learn from. You need to learn how to do more than just draw and paint a good face or likeness. That's only part of it. Practice drawing and painting your characters in situations or settings. How would it look if you were to draw a car or a house? Would your style translate over to that? What kind of palette or choice of colors will you use in your work? Do you have a message? If so, what is that? What is your message? What are you trying to say to people in your work? You need to have work that will get the attention of art directors, and you need to be able to make to keep their attention as well. You want them coming back for more. This isn't the kind of career where you can just coast on by. You need to always be developing and growing as an artist. You need to become a salesman. You need to have that product that is in demand, and if it's no longer in demand, then you need to learn what is and take it from there. As far as your second question, I do know what it's like working for clients who are cheap or who want you to work for free. Some of my first covers and spot illustrations were done for little or no money at all. But that's how I was able to get more work. In the beginning, I took on work that I knew wasn't going to pay well, but I also knew that I could then use this published, work as promotional pieces and hopefully get bigger and better paying jobs, which is exactly what happened. You may have to work your way up, taking jobs that you're not really all that interested in, or that aren't paying what you would like. And if you decide to take these jobs on, give them more than what they expect. Always give them more, and always be on time. There are clients who never paid me at all. Some took a couple of years to pay me, and sure, it stinks, but I gained much needed experiences from these situations, and it's going through things like that have made me the person I am today. Um, and there's a lot of, even though there was frustrating situations and jobs that just didn't turn out maybe the way that I wanted, I really learned from those situations. So I definitely encourage you to take on some of these jobs in the beginning, but give it your all. And those jobs, if you put everything into it and you end up with some nice pieces, um, you know it's not always the best and most fun, not getting paid, but you can use these jobs and these experiences in your portfolio to get better work and better paying work. Okay. Um, so let me see. I have another question here from Waleed from Jordan. And his question is, I hope you can help me figure out. I'm an illustrator and I see every day millions of artists on the internet and millions of styles, and I have this problem when I see styles that I like, I want my style to be like it. I'm a little bit confused. I want to develop my own powerful style, but it's hard because I don't know what my style is anymore. Um, do you have this problem? Don't you tell yourself I draw caricature and I want comics now, and a week after I want realistic drawing. Hope you can put me in the right direction because I'm feeling that I'm wasting so much time not knowing what to concentrate on. Um, okay, so this is a tough question. I can relate for sure. I'm going through a time in my life, where I want to change up my style a bit as well. Not too drastic. I just want to be more painterly and more expressive. Um, you know, but I'm also inspired by many different artists and want to work on pieces that are influenced by them. I'm not interested in ripping them off or copying, but learning from them and trying to find out for myself what it is about their work that inspires me, and how I can do that within my own work. I think it's important for us artists to do this, to experiment, to learn from other artists. And when I first started drawing caricatures, I was a 10-year-old kid who was in love with drawing. I discovered that I was good at capturing likenesses, and that excited me and made me want to become better at drawing caricatures. So I started collecting Mad magazines. I began to copy artists like Jack Davis and Mort Drucker. So the first couple of years, my work looked like a bad ripoff of Jack and Mort's work, until I saw the work of another artist who inspired me. And again, I was excited and I wanted to learn how to do what this artist was doing, try to figure out their techniques. I learned a lot from copying the work of Jack Davis and Mort Drucker, but it was time to move on. And so this is the way that it's been ever since. Eventually, after drawing and painting enough, your own voice will emerge. But you've got to always be open to new inspirations, and with those new inspirations, you can grow even more. I've, pretty much been doing this my entire career, where, I was very influenced by, certain artists who, at the time I thought were, the best, and I figured, if I could learn how to draw and paint as good as this person, then I'm going to make it, because they're making it, they're getting published, and of course I was missing a lot of other things, like I had no understanding of marketing and promoting my work, but I had these goals, and basically once I got to a certain point where I felt like I was no longer inspired or excited about this artist's work anymore. I had moved on, I moved past it, but now I've got these other artists, that I look at and I'm just like, wow, this artist is insane. They're so amazing, and then I would work towards trying to develop my work, even further, even farther. And I do this to this day. There's still there's many artists today that inspire me, but the difference is